Imagine standing by the shore, watching waves rise and fall. Each wave appears distinct, yet it is inseparable from the ocean beneath. Now, imagine that wave represents a human experience, joy, suffering, connection, or isolation. Non-duality teaches us that while we perceive ourselves as individual waves, we are ultimately the ocean itself, an indivisible whole. For someone navigating the labyrinth of complex PTSD or c-ptsd, this perspective offers a profound lens through which to explore healing, self-awareness, and connection. This piece delves into the intersections between non-duality, a philosophy emphasizing unity and interconnectedness, and the lived experiences of someone grappling with c-ptsd. By weaving these perspectives together, we can uncover insights into the nature of reality, suffering, and relationships that can illuminate paths toward peace and wholeness. I'm Mark Roach, sharing my journey through the lens of complex PTSD here on Transcendent, my YouTube channel. Non-duality begins with the fundamental question, who am I? It challenges the conventional belief that we are separate entities, that our bodies, minds, or identities, and instead posits that our true nature is pure awareness. This awareness is not bound by individuality, but it is the infinite ground of all existence. For someone with c-ptsd, this idea may feel both liberating and challenging. Trauma often fractures one's sense of self, leading to feelings of disconnection or fragmentation. Survivors may struggle with questions like, who am I beyond my trauma? Or, am I permanently damaged? Non-duality offers a radical answer. Beneath the layers of pain, shame, and fear lies an unchanging essence, an awareness untouched by trauma. This perspective does not dismiss the reality of suffering, but it does reframe it. Just as waves do not alter the ocean's depth, traumatic experiences do not diminish the wholeness of our being. Recognizing this can be a pivotal step for those with complex PTSD, offering a glimpse of identity beyond the wounds. Many people see happiness in external circumstances, possessions, achievements, or relationships, only to find these pursuits fleeting. Non-duality teaches that true happiness arises from within because it is intrinsic to our being. Happiness is not something we acquire, it is something we are when we cease identifying with the separated or fragmented self. For someone with c-ptsd, happiness may feel elusive or conditional. Someone might say, I'll be happy when I feel safe. Or, I'll be happy when my trauma no longer defines me. While these desires are valid, non-duality invites a deeper inquiry, such as, what if happiness is really present beneath the surface of my pain? This shift in perspective does not negate the need for safety or for healing, but it complements it. And by recognizing that happiness is not dependent on external conditions, survivors can begin to access moments of peace even amidst their struggles. In non-duality, self-knowledge is considered the highest form of knowledge because it reveals the interconnected nature of existence. To know oneself as awareness is to understand that all experiences, joyful or painful, arise within this same field. For those with c-ptsd, self-knowledge often involves navigating layers of distorted beliefs about oneself. I'm broken. I'm unworthy. or I'm unlovable. These beliefs are rooted in trauma, but they're not reflective of one's true nature. Non-duality encourages survivors to look beyond these mental constructs and ask, who am I before these thoughts arise? This inquiry can create space for a more compassionate relationship with oneself, where identity is no longer confined to past wounds, but aligned with an expansive sense of being. Non-duality categorizes thoughts into three types: practical, which are necessary for daily life; creative, arising from love and understanding; and egoic, rooted in separation. The latter often leads to suffering because it reinforces the illusion of disconnection. For someone with c-ptsd, thoughts can feel overwhelming and intrusive, replaying traumatic memories or reinforcing negative self-perceptions. Emotional dysregulation may amplify these patterns, creating cycles of fear, anger, or despair. Non-duality offers a way to relate to thoughts without becoming entangled in them by recognizing that thoughts are temporary phenomena arising within awareness. Like clouds passing through the sky, survivors can begin to disidentify from them. This does not mean suppressing emotions, but witnessing them from a place of stillness. At its core, non-duality emphasizes shared being. This recognition that we are all expressions of the same underlying reality. This understanding transforms relationships from transactions based on need or fear into connections rooted in love and unity. For individuals with c-ptsd, relationships can be fraught with challenges such as distrust, fear of vulnerability, or difficulty like maintaining boundaries. Trauma often disrupts one's ability to feel safe with others, or recognize our shared humanity. Non-duality invites survivors to approach relationships from a place of connection rather than separation. This does not mean ignoring past wounds, but recognizing that beneath individual experiences lies a shared essence. Cultivating this perspective can foster empathy and reduce reactivity in interpersonal dynamics. A common misconception about non-duality is that it dismisses human experience in favor of an abstract spiritual ideals. In truth, non-duality integrates both inward reflection, which is self-inquiry, and outward engagement, like living fully in the world. For someone with c-ptsd, embracing human experience means acknowledging both their pain and their resilience. Trauma often narrows one's focus to survival mode, making it difficult to engage fully with life's richness. Non-duality encourages survivors to honor their humanity while remembering their deepest essence as awareness. This balance allows for both healing and growth, a journey where suffering becomes a doorway to greater understanding. According to non-duality, suffering arises from identifying with separate self. A false sense of individuality disconnected from the whole. Liberation comes from remembering our true nature as interconnected awareness. For individuals with c-ptsd, suffering often feels inescapable due to emotional flashbacks, hypervigilance, or feelings of worthlessness. Non-duality does not trivialize this pain, but reframes its source. Suffering stems not from trauma itself, but from identifications with its narrative. By shifting focus from I am my trauma to I am awareness experiencing trauma, survivors can begin to disintegrate and disentangle their identity from their pain. This shift does not erase suffering, but it does transform how it is held, no longer as a burden, but as part of life's unfolding. In non-dual philosophy, death is seen as the dissolution of form back into the formless, the wave returning to the ocean. While individuality ceases, essence remains continuous. For those with complex PTSD who grapple with existential fears or feelings of annihilation stemming from trauma, this perspective offers solace. It suggests that while our personal stories may end, our essence as awareness endures beyond form. This understanding can also inform how survivors approach healing. Rather than clinging to past identities or fearing future losses, they can rest in the timeless presence that underlies all change. Challenging relationships often trigger unresolved trauma in those of us with complex PTSD. Non-duality offers tools for cultivating presence, remaining grounded in shared being rather than reacting from fear or defensiveness. By recalling that both oneself and others arise from the same field of awareness, survivors can approach conflicts with greater compassion and clarity. This does not mean tolerating harmful behavior, but responding from a place of inner stability rather than reactivity. At its heart, non-duality points a simple truth. Peace and joy are inherent to our being when we stop identifying with separation. For those navigating complex PTSD's complexities, emotional turmoil, relationship struggles, existential questions, this simplicity can be profoundly grounding. Healing does not require becoming someone new, but remembering who we already are beyond our stories, whole, connected, and free. The conversation between non-duality and complex PTSD reveals profound insights into healing and self-discovery. While non-duality emphasizes unity and timeless awareness as our true nature, complex PTSD underscores the importance of addressing human suffering compassionately and practically. Together, these perspectives invite us to see trauma not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity, a wave rising within the ocean's infinite depth. To remember our shared essence as awareness itself. By integrating inward reflection with outward engagement, we move toward lives rooted in authenticity, connection, and peace. A journey where both healing and wholeness become possible. I'm Mark Roach, wishing you all the best.